Hey, I'm back. How you guys doing? How's it going, guys? Hi. So today we're going to be talking about, most of all, 1 minute, please. Alright, I'm back. I know that. So we're going to talk about homelessness. A lot of homelessness is going on out here. People getting laid off, people living on paycheck to paycheck, people moving back with their families and friends. Parents moving back with their young children's, and children's moving back with their parents. So it doesn't matter what age you are a lot of times. And, it's nothing new because, growing up in a lot of times in the communities, everybody's thinking somebody else is doing good. That's why I'm so happy that I grew up in one of the benefits. Now that I was happy, one of the benefits of growing up in an area where there's different multicultural, different race, you see each side. Okay, India people, they got problems too. Asians, they got problems too, but they hide it. White people, oh, they got problems. I mean, like black people, black females are going around talking about, I don't want a man that makes less than me. White females have been dealing with that for a long time. White females have been dealing with men who makes less than them, bodybuilders, meth heads, all these construction workers. They get one good pay out of the year. You know, these white females have been dealing with that, whether they worked at Denny's or they were a nurse or they held a high position at a corporate. The white females have always made, majority of them have always made more than the white man. And for black, in the black community, this is like a sin. This is like, oh no, for black females. And this is telling you that they're just touching, the tip of the iceberg. Where white females were, now black females are coming to. I'm talking about at the bottom. I know that there are black females out there that do have more money though, but since for centuries. But as of right now, black women making a lot, they're saying, oh, I can't be with a man that's less than me, except he's like, good in bed, and he knows how to lay down in the bedroom. That's basically what it's all about. Now, in the white community, that's been going on for a long time, where the woman made more than the man, and they still got along. They worked it out. They still had kids. So a lot of times, you see things going on in your community, and you say, oh, that happened in the Hispanic community. Oh, that was that. It's that your migration stuff over there. Oh, I see what they did to them. So you know what's going on. So you're not, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, and it's crazy. So let's watch this video about homelessness. Excuse me.
In a storage unit, my landlords decided not to renew my lease this year, and the apartment that I applied for won't be open until October 1st. I have family here in town, but here I am, living in the storage unit. And the bad part is your access gets denied after 10 p.m., so if I am to leave right now, I wouldn't be able to get back in. Here's my setup. I got my bed right here. Don't come at me. I'm literally living in a storage unit, bro.
Oh, you can't say
How I
anything.
lock myself in here to ensure that no one comes in here is I use this rope and I put it under my TV stand. And that makes it to where this door can't open from the outside.
And there's rats in
I've
there.
also dummy locked it to where it looks like someone isn't in here and they've got their shit locked up. So when the employees walk by, they don't know I'm in here. Slowly getting back to my feet, Come join the journey. Follow.
Wow.
Moving into a storage unit because I can't get approved for an apartment and my lease is ending as I speak.
No.
I
No.
live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually
Whoa.
really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need, and once I get done here, I can exercise.
Look, I can't do that. What if something goes wrong? What if there's somebody on drugs and they just start killing everybody? You know, this is not good. This is not good. This is like prison. This is not good. So anything could happen here. Oh man. Now he's waking people up. Somebody's gonna open up their storage and say, "Hey, what the hell's going on? I'm trying to sleep. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm a taxi driver." And then they start fighting. Before you know it,
I can use the bathroom.
They don't believe how toxic this is. If you're still using a
these commercials.
I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want to stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to, go to sleep.
That's his girl? Damn. So he got his girl there too? God damn.
Very, very,
Oh,
very
she's
space. The next door is the RV. The next door to that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front.
You go
Or just prepare
what?
something cold inside of the unit. Sandwiches, I just make salad. If we want to get power, we use our power bank. They also have power here, so we can charge our car. Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here now, we can save up more money to get what we really want.
Wow.
Thank you for the support.
That man that got me here talking about he's living in a storage facility. He's telling a lie. Now, granted, he might be on something because rent is. But in the social media world full of toxic investigators, he's about to be found out and put out. Questions
Oh.
about the facility because how are they never seeing this man and his girl on camera? Like he's sprinting up and down the hallway doing the handstands, going on dates in the storage unit. Something's not adding up. But if something is adding up, I need to know what facility he's staying at because the way rent is increasing around here. I'm just kidding, but do you guys think he got on here and made up a story for social media? Or do you think he's actually living in that facility?
Oh,
He
man.
just hasn't been found out yet.
No. What? I wish I knew about this. Why is he cleaning it up? Something happened? What? What's this all about? Yeah, he's doing external cleaning. He was in the military.
Moving into our new space, you can pretty much live in here during the day, and then at nighttime you can't sleep in here. So we have a nice big tent. Storage is right next to our tent. It's amazing.
She's funny. She's in fire control.
So I can start cooking. Tonight I'm gonna finally be able to stretch out while I'm sleeping. It's actually better than sleeping in the car.
In the car. The car's not bad. Why does he spray that? Oh, for the rats? Oh, ramen noodles. That's so unhealthy. I can't do that.
I'm just trying to be grateful because I know there's somebody that would trade positions with me.
First off, I just gotta say, man, shout out to a brother because he's in his storage units and
Let's go to the second one. People are in their vehicles. Day 58 of saving for a tiny house. Wow. That's nice. Oh
I live
shit.
in my
Is
car.
that the same woman?
Wake up with me.
First things first.
No, she did not.
One of the hardest parts
That
about living
is
in your car
horrible.
during the winter is how cold it gets. So I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to keep warm if you're homeless. Obviously, the first thing you can do is you can run your engine. Your car produces a lot of heat. But this isn't ideal because this uses gas. The next thing you can do is you can get one of these. This is a heated blanket from Walmart. It costs like $20, but it's made specifically for your car. You take it and you plug it into the cigarette port on your car.
Oh.
Once it's plugged in, you take it and you stuff it inside your sleeping bag to keep all of the heat in there, and this will help a lot at night. The last
Oh.
option is a little bit more expensive, but this is a battery pack with an inverter. So you can plug a small heater into this, and you can keep your car warm for many hours at a time.
Oh, I need to
If you
get
guys have
that.
any more tips for how to keep warm at night, leave them in the comments so that other people can find them and get good ideas. One of the hardest parts about living in your car during the winter is how cold it gets. One of the hardest parts about living in your car during the winter is how cold it gets.
Don't get lost 'cause I'm waiting. Summer feelings are waiting, boy.
A lot of Caucasians do this.
Don't get lost 'cause I'm waiting. Summer feelings are waiting, boy. You and me is more than 100 miles.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't have to have money to live in your car, and you gonna save money.
Are you
gonna
serious?
save money. So you can just do what I did. I broke my lease, moved out of my apartment, and moved into my car. So that's why I was able to quit my job so that I can live in my car and travel the country.
Why is she always doing that? What is wrong with her?
I've been sleeping in the back of this car for a year now, and apparently the front seat folds down.
I didn't know that.
So the base to use a mattress I've had in my trunk on top of some kind of foam pad so I can actually extend
I
the
never
legs
knew that,
when
guys.
it's
That's
due.
crazy.
Then all of that's put on top of an extra suitcase. I am quite a bit lifted to what I normally was. So now that I'm on like 3 blow-up pads, which is probably overkill, I feel like I'm on a climb. Hopefully these things will...
These idiots trying to jump the wrong man. Do you know how this fire started?
Yes, I do. It was because of my cousin. And I don't want to mention no names.
Your cousin.
Yes.
What's his name?
And you said you think your cousin started this. Do you know how or why?
He's mad because he can't get with me. I'm married to my husband. And it's a long story. Just to make it short. Yeah. He already put him in a hospital once last month. And he figured he was going to do something else to get back to me.
Alright, so right now, the fire has been put out. Thank you for the information here. Do you know how this fire started?
Yes, I do. It was because of my cousin. And I don't want to mention no names.
Your cousin.
Yes.
And you said you think your cousin started this. Do you know how or why?
He's mad because he can't get with me. I'm married to my husband. And it's a long story. Just to make it short. Yeah.
Project Solar recommend.
I'm that bitch.
You fine.
You don't pat me down?
Want me to?
I mean, no. What are you doing?
We saw that.
It was my first blind date.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Really?
With their parents for a period of time. If there is a life transition that is happening, you've moved to the city where they are and you want to live there for a bit, there are reasons, and again, great reasons for adult children to move back home for a period of time. And not for this nebulous, oh, I'm just saving money on rent.
Until
so
25, 7
I'm going
years.
to just keep going. Yeah, no.
That's me.
For a period of time with an end date, very specific, all of it, because there is such power when you're a young adult, when you're 22, 23, and you're having to figure out the world. There's just, there's something in that dignity. There's this idea that I have to now problem solve, and I can't just fall back on my parents.
And those lessons and skills that you learn through problem solving.
I hate
What are you doing there?
These
Hey,
Why'd you take so long?
I mean, you said it was.
everybody's so fake.
Aging parents. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I think there's a lot of older adults or younger adults who have parents that are aging and they feel that maybe their
What
parents should
is
move
she?
in with them or move across country to be closer to them. It's a very difficult decision.
Is she
And
blonde,
yet
black,
it's workable.
white?
There's often a lot of situations where an aging parent is living in and it works out beautifully. And there's some that it's more challenging. So it just all depends upon the situation.
When mom and dad move in,
But
would
it is
you
a common
again
issue
transfer
or
them
a
in?
common decision that some
Adult
communities
children.
make, whether mom and dad should move in with them, but it can work out really well. Back in the old days, parents lived in the same house as their adult children. From my house to yours, I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Mom or dad move in with you.
It's good if you have a big house. It's good. What is this? Is this about what we're talking about?
My body
Why
pod for
are they
green
showing why are they showing these things? That's not what we're looking
is my
for.
first blind date.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Really?
No. What is going on with all this Fortin? What is this all about? So, here in LA, we've been having a lot of problems. We see that the Mayor Baz landlord crackdown could destroy more RVs, while residents say it misses the point. Yeah, RVs. This is basically Highway 1 Santa Monica area where a lot of travelers park their RVs when they come to California. The Highway 1 is known, that's the beach area. That's that skinny road that goes all the way up and down from Seattle, Washington, all the way to San Diego. And there's RVs parked along there. These are surfers, these are travelers, these are single, people. These are families all doing their thing, rich and poor. So you can't just be like, get all the poor people, because a lot of them are Europeans. I see a lot of them are Europeans. Yes, and then here's what we need to know about hepatitis. Remember, I talked about hepatitis. Watch my video. Be very careful. Hepatitis is out there. Section 8. Now, Section 8, that's something that's going on now. It said we'll put 59,000 in LA on edge of homelessness. Man. It's just sad. Before COVID-19, there was a large crowd of people walking up and down LA, shoulder to shoulder. Now there's barely anybody walking up and down these streets. Where they moved to, people are saying Chicago, Texas, and other places in mass numbers. Okay? Now, the homelessness was high too. Where did all these homeless people go? Hey, there's a lot of kidneys in the market now. That's what I know. A lot of kidneys out there. So, Section 8 is really the last line of defense against homelessness for many families, said Hae-Young Park, a staff attorney with the Housing and Community Unit of the Legal Aid Foundation of LA. A lot of these families without housing subsidies just have nowhere to go. Man, sometimes you really think does this system really work, or is it just because you come to find out everything is on subsidies. Nobody's really making any money. It's just subsidies. Somebody's paying. You come to find out the only reason these NGO organizations are in business is because they get subsidies. And you're over here working your butt off. Now they took the steps. You just gotta take the steps too. Let's see what this guy has to say. This guy, he's talking like me. Oh, he's where's she's going? You know, I want to watch like the news. I don't want. Let's see what happened here.
People here in the valley. Many are also facing strict deadlines, whether it's their timeline at a shelter or an expiration date for their Section 8 voucher. The clock is ticking.
And then go on.
What's the...
This trip delivery is 2 of them.
Okay, click
Keith
on it.
Hill tries to stay busy, working several hours a day, making food deliveries just to survive.
Wow. Just to survive.
She's trying to make as much money as possible because time isn't on her side.
The Section 8 voucher is going to expire in a couple of days on the 9th. I'm in a woman's shelter, and that's going to expire. My time is running out another week or 2. And then next thing you know, I'm one step away from just living in my van with me and my cat, you know, and it's like, what do I do now? You know?
Sorry, donation.
She says her landlord didn't renew her lease back in December. Ever since then, she's been looking for a landlord to take her Section 8 voucher. But she's run into so many roadblocks, like fewer rental options, sky-high rents, just barely making enough to scrape by.
Just to go to a
But
nursing.
it's a lot of people that be in that Section 8 office complaining about the same issue I'm going through.
Voucher holders get 180 days to find housing once they're issued. After that, they expire. City of Phoenix housing officials say it took an average of 114 days for a voucher holder to get into a lease for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. And in that time frame, the voucher success rate was just under 60%. That means 40% of voucher holders weren't able to use them.
The voucher success rate is certainly something where all public housing authorities pay special attention to for any new vouchers that are issued.
$1,000 payments, and the voucher payment was also raised this year to cover more to meet market demand, but there is still a gap.
We have 7,355 vouchers, and the number of vouchers leased up can fluctuate. About 6,200 of those vouchers are currently leased, and so several hundred voucher holders that are currently...
You know, the situation looks bad. I have to feel like, Kiva, you can keep doing it. Don't give up.
So the city says there are certain extensions that people can apply for if they qualify, but of course you have to be eligible. But for people like Kiva, who says there's no one to help me, you know, you just appreciate the humanity.
Well, that's tough. I hope she makes it. It's sad. But, you gotta get an education, you know, to help out, or something to fall back on, because see, like, if she's doing that and it doesn't work, she could go apply. She should take nursing, you know, or if you have your degree, you could always fall back on something, you know, like me, you know. Since becoming homeless a decade ago, Hector Arande Jr. say he has done most of the heavy lifting to find shelter and housing. So, in North Hollywood here. And rent has gone up. My rent went up. So rent's been going up everywhere. Oh. Yeah. So, 5 takeaway from LA troubling new homeless spending audit. So we see right here. It's tough out here. Yeah, because you see, there's a homeless NGO organization here in LA, and the CEO makes $800,000 a year. $800,000 a year. Yeah, but it seems like, you know, things are going on. The system connecting people to services is disjointed. Unhoused people in LA are supposed to be matched to shelter beds and available housing through what's known as a coordinated entry system. The variation caused confusion amongst stakeholders, including service providers. LA Lead's Homelessness Agency doesn't track subcontractors' compliance. That's where the problem is. That's where the money laundering is going on. That's where all the organized crime is. LA, this is something that this is and they said Trump is going to lift the regulations on the banks so they could do whatever they want. So this is where the problem is. I can cheat to become richer, but you can't. You see, I could change the laws. I could, void it for now, bring it back later. I can move the goalpost. Okay, we're gonna put you on, so okay, we're not gonna do it like that no more. We're just gonna follow the Bible. Okay, your term's over. Okay, no more Bible. Back to business. So it's like it's just controlling, and this is how the rich get rich, is because they're always bending the laws, finding loopholes. They could do it, but you can't. Now they're getting all this free money, all these taxes. They don't have to pay back to build the building, and then they get royalties. They get a monthly commission. It's the property is in their name. That's taxpayers' money. Now taxpayers cannot afford to live in there because it's too high. Why is it too high? Because of profit, and you got to pay back the bank. So the interest is high. Now, that's what I saw after the 2007-2008 housing crisis, where a lot of people lost their homes, white, blacks, and Asians. And we seen them get kicked out of their home and replaced with illegal immigrants. I mean, the way they put those illegal immigrants in that home, like right when they kicked the black families out, boom, there was like 12 illegal immigrants living there like the next day. And I was like, wait, this is like, that's crazy how that happened. This is all set up. And guess who's paying for those illegal immigrants' home? It's your tax dollar that's paying for it. Now, I was talking about this in 2008, 2009, because they said we're in a depression, and I said, okay, where are they getting the money to build, and where are they getting the money to house these illegal immigrants? So that's what I saw, and nobody else. A lot of people did not see it, and then they took taxpayers' money. They took our money. They raised taxes on us. They took our money for affordable living, apartments. They said they were going to build. Come to find out, they're luxury apartments, and Asians only. Only Asians could afford it. And guess what? Who was paying for them to live there? Your tax dollars. Your tax dollars was taken to give to foreigners to come here to live, to go to college at UCLA and USC. So I'm like, this is what they're talking about when they say, these parties, they just take from one person and give it to the other, and then leave the other person starving. And that's what's happening, and it's about to happen again. And number 4 says different providers charge widely different prices for the same services. You see, okay, they want to charge you for, this is for the household. Yes, shelters. The few people are leaving shelters for permanent housing. Shelters are too strict. Shelters are worse than prison. That's what I heard. And I remember living next to an adult housing. These are troubled or people who got back on drugs and they need a place to stay. They can't stay with their family or something happened. And then all of a sudden they had moved them into our house because the woman owned both of them. and had them in a certain section for like 2 people, and it was okay. I didn't have no problem with it though, but I seen it, and I see that there's a lot of fraud going on over there too, within that little adult housing. And if we look right here, where was I at? What else? And what happened was that they would take your social security, and they would take money out of your. They would take 500 out of your social. I don't know how they do that, but they take money out of your social, and you have to. This if you leave, they're still taking money out of your social security. You could have been gone for like 8, 6, 7, 12, 20 years. These people are still deducting $500 from your social. You have to go on your own and call Social Security and tell them to cancel it. Because if you don't, they're just going to keep on deducting. So they love these adults who are just effing up in life because they put that charge on them. They're not going to make it. They care though, but it's like, they're going to leave, and they would never call and cancel their social security because they're on drugs, they're on the street, they're messing up. You're just deducting 500 every month. I mean, I know there's people like from like 20 years ago, they're still deducted, that never lived in that house. They haven't lived in that house for a long time, So it was crazy. It's a nice money right there, because the more people you have, but they do say you're limited to how many people you can have in the house. You see, and this is the problem right here. Subcontract compliance. When they lower the standards, that's when a lot of fraud starts happening. A lot, and people start pocketing more money, and it could be anybody.
For Section 8 vouchers through HUD. So we will jump into that. On this video, we'll be talking about how many people does that impact, what does it look like for the future, what are some of the issues around the HUD program, and what do you do as an investor if you're a Section 8 investor. This is the proposal from Trump. His really goal is to reduce deficit. They propose slashing the funding for Section 8 and other federal housing programs.
Now, a lot of people, a lot of the Section 8 is going to who? You won't believe it. The rich. The rich. The rich are the ones that use Section 8 and benefit from it all. And the food stamps. And the illegal immigration. And the drugs. And the guns. You see, it all starts from the top.
By approximately 43%. This comes out to a $26.7 billion reduction in spending, or 4.42% of the federal budget.
I bet you there's like rich people who got their homes on Section 8. They because they register their homes as their business. So it's a business property. It's not like a personal property, family property. They register their homes under their business name, not under their personal name. And then when you do that under your business name, you get a lot of benefits, a lot of write-offs, the list goes on and on. Your visitors and family members, you could put them as guests. They stay over for the night. You could charge them $800. You write it right there on your tax return. They take it as a loss and they carry it over. So you made $1 million and they're going to deduct $300,000. They only deduct $50,000. That's why they talk about Trump. He doesn't pay no taxes. It's because you got to know how to work the system. You don't put a home under your name. It's just not good. You need to put it under a business name.
This will impact 5.2 million individuals just through the Section 8. There's about 9 million people in the United States are on some sort of voucher system, but this is only regarding the Section 8 and HUD vouchers. And as you can imagine, there's 2.2 million vouchers out there according to the HUD website, but that's going to impact 2 to 3 people per family, sometimes up to 4 people per family, depending on the individual circumstances. So it's
he's just getting into it.
Welcome back to the Edmonds Report. My name's Kaylin, and what I don't know, like, is this only happening in Tulsa? Is anybody else seeing this go on anywhere else in the country? That's not the only Section 8 scam that we've been seeing a lot recently. So what we'll see is a tenant will have a Section 8 voucher and they'll rent the house, and then they'll never actually move into the house. So instead what they'll do is they'll sublease it out to someone that is like a cash tenant, right? So they're, number one, not paying any rent because Section 8 is paying it, and then they're collecting $1,000 a month as in pretending to be a landlord, right? So I'm just wondering if anyone else has seen this, anyone else has heard about this. Why is the news not talking about this, right? Like, I've tried to make news stations aware of it. Nobody seems to care. And it's not like this is a 1 or 2 time thing. Like, this keeps happening like every month.
Because that's what they're doing for the illegal immigrants. That's what they're doing with the illegals. That's how they're. I told you. It's the rich. I just said it before I played this video. They're doing this. And they also do it with the government. Hey, this Section 8, but then they got it as Airbnb. You see, so they're getting paid twice.
That violated these policies, right? And it's not us necessarily evicting; it's the city telling us, like, hey, these people got to go because they violated lease. So I don't know. What have you guys seen?
All right, so that's it for now, guys. Thanks for coming over. Really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share my video, and see you guys soon. Good day.